Well, since I got you all fired up, are you interested in a new segment?
Yeah, let's do this.
Well, it's going to be tell us how you really feel, Evan.
Okay.
And and keeping it with CJ's power of nines, what I'm going to do is when we do this segment, I will say either 9 names of players, baseball, but we could do any sports, or 9 situations that are going on in sports. And I want you to quickly tell me your immediate thoughts
Well,
on these
first off,
people
fuck
or things.
CJ for his power of nines bullshit. You're making the question this more complex. Thank you,
No, no,
CJ.
no, no, no.
In the beginning, there was baseball. I'm CJ. The bird farts sneeze. I'm gross. I'm here today with my co-host Evan. Let's kick it over to him. Hi, CJ. That was a great introduction. I'm Evan. You can follow me at Evan D. Wetzel 4 on the Twitter. CJ's not here today because he's skipping again. Who knows what he's doing? He's in there to fix that stupid man bun that he has. We have a lot to discuss today. I'm pissed off about pretty much everything. There's nothing going on that's good right now. I'm here with our producer Joe, the Mets fan. So he's going to be a part of the show pretty much going forward right now today, and you'll see him on Thursday again.
Hello, everyone.
Joe.
I don't know much about baseball, so this should be interesting.
I
mean, was I supposed to tell them that or no?
You're a Mets fan. They figure anyway. The thing that bothers me is, like we were talking about before with Houston, unless you're a Houston fan, you didn't want to watch him in this playoffs. And I could have, if we're going to let losing records go in, then why couldn't we just pick the most interesting losers and give them like an extra loser wild card spot and just have like 20 fucking teams this year? Because the fact that Houston actually has a chance to make it to the World Series this year after cheating, getting caught, lying, not saying they're sorry, firing their coach even though they're about to bring him back, and now with a losing record, they have a chance of winning the World Series. It's fucking bullshit. What are your thoughts on that, Joe?
Well, I didn't understand any of the playoff stuff from the beginning. They started talking about how this year was going to be different, and I already started getting nervous because I understand it was only 60 games, but at the same time, you can't like mess with the integrity of the game. And I think that by messing with the innings and messing with the playoff format, like you mess with baseball. And I understand, that they think that they need to change things in order to bring more fans in or make people interested. But maybe you need to improve what you have and not go out looking elsewhere to improve the game, when ultimately I don't think that it improved the game. I think that there were a lot of teams that shouldn't have been there that were there, and now we have the Astros, like you said, under 500 team in the ALCS, and I don't like it. I don't like the way it happened.
I don't.
Plus, I'm bitter about the Mets.
Of course. I don't think any of these little changes made or break the fact that a casual fan is going to watch or not watch. The difference between someone like me who has to watch and someone who is just like whatever. They're whatever for a lot of things. They could go to Netflix. They can go watch a fucking reality show. They're a casual fan for a reason, and you need to find a way to market them better so that they go, oh, I have to watch baseball right now. But if you do these stupid little things, all the fans who are, casual sports fans go, I don't really care. Look at the NBA this year. It was the worst watched finals in over 40 years.
Was it? I didn't know that.
And it shouldn't have been, because Kobe died, and the fact that the Lakers won is awesome. But LeBron James is one of the most unlikable pieces of shit that I know. I really cannot stand him. It's like every speech he has to talk about how woke he is and all this movement and stuff. We get it. Shit's going on in the streets and it's bad, but I don't want to hear it from you. You've been a billionaire since you're fucking 16 years old. I don't want to hear it from you.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I don't know anything about basketball. I watched the Trailblazers in the first round because I'm sort of a Trailblazers fan, only by default because the Knicks are so bad.
Yeah,
And then I lost interest. I lost interest. I have trouble with sports. Part of sports that I like, and this goes back to me, I'm like a big NCAA sports fan, is the whole territorial aspect of it.
mhm,
Like you have like all the people from one town rooting for a team going to another town. Like I like the whole atmosphere surrounding the travel part of sports. So to just put a bunch of people in a stadium or in a gym like they're doing this year, like just isn't working for me. It doesn't have the same feeling as the away team going into a home stadium and now having to deal with, like all the things that come along with that, staying in a hotel, like, having fans against you and everything. And
right.
I think that that's part of the beauty of sports, is that that's part of the competitiveness. And this year that's been taken out by having like these neutral sites and everything. And I
Right. And
understand for entertainment, especially for the younger fan who just needs something to do right now. I'm all for going with it. I'm not saying we shouldn't have had sports this year, but as somebody who has been a sports fan for now 37 years, something isn't the same this year, and I'm having trouble getting involved, regardless of the play on the field. Honestly,
right. It almost felt like the sports were scripted in a way.
a
It
little bit,
felt
yeah,
very diluted, and it felt like when you eliminate fans and you eliminate that travel and all that stuff to go to different cities, you're eliminating the human factor for it because
right,
humans get nervous. Humans have to, there's no clutch factor anymore. You've eliminated that because they're sitting in the hotel all day in a cushy, comfy life waiting to play a game at a scheduled time. It's not the same thing.
yeah, yeah,
And it also felt like because most of these teams got or seasons got called off before they ended, you had to pack in all this game time and then have a quick playoffs. It was too much.
yeah,
It was too
yeah.
much to watch 20 games of the um, NBA season have to be finished to then go into these crazy playoff format.
You're
I
right.
thought
It was like
hockey did it the best.
strictly entertainment. It felt like, and not like didn't have the same competitive nature to it. And I know the guys are trying. I'm not saying that it has anything to do with the athletes or anything else going on, but just something about this year, the competitive aspect. I couldn't get into it. I couldn't, even football Sundays right now. I'm trying,
Yeah.
and we're Jets fans, so I mean, that's that's a big part of it.
No, and see, my biggest deal is that I am not a fake fan at all. So I can't just be like, okay, I'm done with the Jets. I'm going to go find another team. You don't invest 15 years in a team and then go pick another team. That's fake.
Yeah, yeah,
Which gets me to my next point, which pissed me off on Twitter. I got into huge fights with a bunch of people. The Yankees lost like 4 days ago, and there are several Yankees fans on Twitter who have changed their profile pic to the Houston Astros, and they're now rooting for them to win because they can't root for Tampa Bay because they just beat us. You are the fakest piece of shit fan there is. You should be embarrassed. You're not a Yankees fan. And when you come back in the spring going, oh, I'm a diehard Yankees fan, I'm going to show the screenshots of you being a fake fucking fan in October when your team loses. I cannot wait to do that. Several friends did that. I'm sorry to call one person out, but remember we did an interview with the sports dudes for their podcast.
yes,
They're
yeah.
who I'm talking about. I'm sorry, but you and James switching to Houston right now is disgusting, guys. You're my friends, but that's fucking a weak ass move.
Wow, wow. Is this it's best of seven now?
Yes, that's the
All
seven.
right.
Yeah.
I can't even tell anymore. It's like
Who
best of
gives a
three,
shit?
best of five, best of
Oh, it was
four.
exhausting. Best of two, best of five, best of seven, best of Jesus Christ. Just give someone the trophy now and cancel baseball. I don't even care.
How do you feel about the National League? How that ended? I feel like maybe that's the only one that worked out right.
That's the only one that is exactly how it should have been. Those are the two best teams in the National League. They're the two most exciting teams in the National League. Those are the two teams that everyone wants to see in the National League. And yet you have the two fucking most ridiculous teams in the American League. You have Tampa Bay, who, yes, they are fundamentally one of the best baseball teams I've seen in the last 10 years, but they're boring as shit. They have no players on the team who I give a fuck about. They're not stars. They fucking mock the shit out of other people. Like, I hate that. And it's honestly, it's Aaron Judge's fault that he played New York, and Boston, because now everyone's going to fucking do that if they beat us. And it's obnoxious. It's fucking obnoxious. I hate it. So you have them, and then you have the fucking cheaters that are there. No one wants to watch this series. It should have been Yankees versus Astros, and we would have fucking destroyed the Astros. It's the best matchup for us in the entire playoffs. They're easier than Cleveland. They would have been a hell of a lot easier than Tampa Bay, and that's who we should have seen. But no, because Manchit's decided to mix the schedule up and put us in the bracket against teams that we played all year. It's fucking retarded. He should have made, if you're in this division, you play these teams this year, you're gonna switch. They should have switched it up in the brackets, but because he lets everyone pick their fucking teams to play, this is what happens. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. No, I couldn't have said it better. It's yeah. I don't know. This season's weird.
It's exhausting. I don't want to deal with this. Like, I want to watch my Yankees tonight. It's bullshit. Because I honestly feel we would be up 2-0 on them too. Houston is not that good. If you let them get the pitches, they can occasionally be a very dynamic offense. I know Springer is ridiculous, but I think we have better pitching than what Oakland had. I think we're better than Oakland.
Yeah. I mean, I think on paper you guys are, the best team in baseball up there with the Dodgers and Atlanta. Definitely. It's just
and not to mention the fact that we had 3 starters not play. Severino's out for the whole year with Tommy John. Paxton fucking's dead or something. I don't know. He's not coming back. And Herman decided to hit his fucking wife. So we missed 3 pitchers who we needed.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And yet, that shows how deep we are. We literally have 7 or 8 starting pitchers who, when healthy, are very good. We weren't healthy. And the fact that we weren't healthy in a 60-game season is frustrating. It's a 60-game season, guys.
Well, that's what I was going to say, too. You guys had so many injuries that it's amazing that you made it as far as you did. But I feel like that might be part of the problem, is that you're so reliant on being so deep. Like that no one on the Yankees really gets a chance to become a team and form a team. Like, because you just have all these studs at every position and you're just like throwing them in. But at the same time, there's a team aspect to sports where your guys have to be comfortable playing with each other and they have to be able to trust each other and they have to go into it like, like it's a war. And I feel like maybe they're missing that aspect by just having like all these guys that, bat 320 and hit, 40, 50 bombs a year and not really forming a team. And I'm wondering if that's starting to backfire again, like it did like in like the Giambi years, when they just went out and just started like buying people. It feels like it's getting to that point again.
I agree with that. The other thing that bothers me, though, is that we have had multiple opportunities to fill the holes by trading prospects that we still have not traded. Their value is now pretty low. Albert Abreu has no value. Florial has no value. Clint Frazier has value, but we now have a hole at left field, and you need him.
Right.
But you didn't use him in the playoffs, like, at all, and you pitch hit Ford for him multiple times. I'm sorry, but Ford is a minor league player, okay? Ford's a minor league player. Kratz is a minor league player. Higashioka's a mix. I'm still hoping that he can, be something special here. I mean, we saw really special things from him this year, and we saw really special things from Austin Romine. But is that because Sanchez is so damn bad that anyone next to that looks like they're really good? Who knows? Because it's like Sanchez makes every mistake in the book, including so many pass balls that they had to keep him out of the playoffs because they knew defensively he's the biggest detriment on the field. And then you put in Higgy, who doesn't do any of that shit. He maybe had 1 pass ball in the entire playoffs, and he played most of it. And I believe Sanchez had 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
Yeah. It's tough to get it together, though, when you have that many injuries. It's there's too much confusion every night. Like your lineup's always changing. There's no consistency when a team becomes inconsistent. I feel like they lose who they are, and that's what it looked like to me happened to the Yankees a few times throughout the season. They were good when they could hold it together. I mean, they got through some injuries. What's his name? Voit. I mean, unbelievable year.
Unbelievable. But
Unbelievable.
I believe he hit 1 home run in the postseason.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like guys stepped up when they had to during the season, and then they went through that little drought for a while. But then, guys stepped up and got it back right before the playoffs. But then they went right back into the drought at probably the most important time of
and
the season.
It's interesting for Voit too, because I say he only hit 1 home run in the postseason, and you start to think, oh, so he had a bad postseason. No, he didn't. He still batted over 300. He had a couple walks, he had a bunch of doubles, and he was good. But when you have the guy on your team who led the league in home runs, and you have the guy on your team who led in batting average, you need them to be perfect.
Right.
Every game they need to do something to have that impact. And you got it from a player who missed most of the season, comes back, and Stanton breaks all these records.
Well,
he had like
6
home runs in 5 games.
Amazing.
And it was unbelievable. But it gets to the point when you hit Tampa Bay, Stanton can't hit a home run every game and lead us this way and hope that people are on base when he has the opportunity to do so. It bothered me what the lineup was. It bothered me where they batted certain people. I love Hicks, and he did a great job, but I would have moved him from the 3 spot down. They put him there because he's the lefty. I get that, but I would have had his speed and ability to get on base. I want that in the 9th spot so DJ could have that opportunity to hit him in every time. Because my guess is if Hicks gets an inning where he leads off and gets on base, it's more than a 50% chance that DJ is going to hit him in.
Right.
So I want him right before DJ towards the end of the game, especially with the speed that Hicks has. I mean, he hit a triple in one of the playoff games, I believe. Quick shout out to the new team that I just joined. Thank you guys for welcoming me to YankeeChronicles.com. We did a podcast on Sunday with me, Bobby Tats, and another buddy from the site. So I just joined this team. I'm just starting to meet everyone. So it's been fun. I'll be writing articles for them again. And we will be working to better promote the show. 27 Down podcast might be on their site as well. Who knows? We'll see where this one goes.
Nice. Welcome, guys. Good to have you around, and good to team up with somebody.
But you'll meet Bobby is going to come on sometime. Shelly's going to come on, and the rest of the team is going to come on as well. I really need to learn their names. I'm horrible with names. I'm so bad with names.
That's all right, man. It's
no, like
more than 2, and it's tough for me too.
Dude, I've introduced myself to people multiple times, and they're like, "Yeah, I met you last night," and I'm like, "Oh, you did meet me last night."
Oh, you don't even remember like the face or anything?
Nothing. I'm not good with faces or names.
All right, I at least remember who the person is.
I can't pronounce anything, so I get apprehensive about saying someone's name because I'm like, I don't even know if I'm saying this shit correctly.
Hilarious.
No, like my what's it called? My brother's wife's mom. What's that to me?
Your brother's wife's. It's not your mother-in-law.
Right? I was gonna call her mother-in-law, but that's not my mother-in-law. I must have introduced myself to her 3 fucking times at the wedding.
Is it your mother-in-law? I don't know. No,
who knows? And I'm not calling it like stepmother. It's weird.
Aunt-in-law? I don't know. I have no idea, bro.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. Well, since I got you all fired up, are you interested in a new segment?
Yeah, let's do this.
Well, it's going to be Tell Us How You Really Feel, Evan.
Okay.
And keeping it with CJ's power of 9s, what I'm going to do is when we do this segment, I will say either 9 names of players, baseball, but we could do any sports, or 9 situations that are going on in sports. And I want you to quickly tell me your immediate thoughts.
Well, first off, fuck CJ for his power of 9s bullshit. You're making the question this more complex. Thank you.
No. It's easy. It's your quick thought reaction to things. You don't have to go on long about it. If you only have one word or one sentence, that's fine. If you want to go on a rant,
Yeah, no,
you're welcome to
I'm gonna
do
be
that
angry
too.
about everything. Expect rant.
All right. So, how does Evan really feel? Number one today, Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman. Yeah, I mean, I don't really
That's not the okay. Gary Sanchez.
Gary needs to go. If we had $200 million to offer Real Mayuto, I'd do it in a heartbeat. They're not going to do it. They're going to keep this bum ass Gary Sanchez, who looks like a lost, stupid puppy. They're going to keep him out there trying to learn how to play catcher, and it's like, haven't we had him since he was 16 years old? He still doesn't know how to play catcher. Then make him a DH and trade Giancarlo Stanton, which is the dumbest idea in the world because one, he has a no trade clause, so you're not going to do it. And two, I mean, where are you going to trade Gary to? He has some
I
value, but
here's
fuck
the
Gary
problem with
Sanchez. I hate him
catchers.
so much.
I understand. The problem with catchers is there's maybe like 5 that are good.
Right.
So,
And
so it's like you get rid of them, then you're risking getting somebody who's even worse. There's not a lot of depth in the catcher department. You have to decide basically, is defense more important, and that's a
well,
tough
and also
situation to be
look at
in.
the right. Sorry to cut you off, but
No,
look at
it's
the
all right.
philosophy for catchers nowadays. Most teams have 2 or 3 catchers on the active roster at all times. That's not what it used to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
you used to have one really good catcher. Who was Mike Piazza's backup?
Probably Rene Rivera, maybe.
Exactly.
Right, and it was him for like the whole time
For a while.
because you didn't expect Mike being out more than like 1 day a week for rest.
Exactly. And unless you're a fan of your team, you're not going to really know who the backup is. So you go around the league. I mean, look at the Dodgers. They don't have a really good catcher. They got what, Will Smith or something? I don't know his name. Something
I
like
don't
that.
know. I have no idea.
Not the actor, the whatever. But my point is, Gary has value by default. He's one of the worst catchers, but he's also one of the best because look at his
Oh,
home run
hold
total.
on. Rene Rivera is on the Mets now. I'm sorry. I was way off with that.
Whatever.
This
He's
is why
still
you
on
don't
the
want
Mets.
me hosting a sports show.
He's been on the Mets for 30 years, guys. Rivera.
Since I was in middle school.
See, I'm not a Mets fan, so I couldn't have corrected you on that because I have no fucking clue who Mike Piazza's backup was.
Oh man, I'll figure it out. We'll correct that in the notes, everyone. All right, so
We
let's
had
move
Joe
on.
Girardi and Posada. Like that is a really good
Oh
catching
yeah,
choice.
that's great. Yeah. Pete Fairbanks.
No idea who that is.
He's the relief pitcher on Tampa Bay.
Oh, I thought you were talking about catcher. Yeah, I know Fairbanks.
No, that's the number 3 on How Does Evan Really Feel? Pete Fairbanks.
Oh, you want me to talk about Fairbanks?
I think
Okay,
we
Fairbanks.
exhausted Gary
Fairbanks.
Sanchez. I think we exhausted Sanchez.
Yeah, no, I mean I could talk about Sanchez all day, but Fairbanks,
Okay.
I don't like him either because he was too good against us. I mean, he's a good pitcher. I think all the pitchers, all the players really on Tampa Bay really give into the philosophy on how it's just a mixed bag of playing fundamental baseball. The roster's not set, the matchups are what sets the roster. So I think it's interesting that because of that, you don't really know where Kevin Cash is going with it. And when you saw him put Anderson in the game when we were expecting Snell or Castillo or Fairbanks or whatever, he puts Anderson in and it just completely threw our swing off. I don't understand why we could not. We had multiple opportunities to get hits and we just didn't do it. Which is smart for Kevin Cash. And then you see dumbass Boone trying to do the similar thing that fucking Cash is doing. Why did he put Chapman in for 8 outs? I do not understand.
I know. I didn't get that. Not in a 1-run or a tie game, 1-1 game.
Oh, it was so stupid.
Clayton Kershaw.
I mean,
is it over?
It's getting close.
Yeah. Because I mean, they took him out today.
Yeah, because he's like hurt again.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating for someone who has valued Kershaw for a long time, because you want this to be his second chance to prove that he's a good pitcher, and you want the Dodgers to, get their second chance at winning a World Series when they were stolen the opportunity. But when do we get to the point where we're just like, enough's enough? Kershaw is a bum. I think he's a bum. I think Bumgarner's a bum. I think Kershaw is a bum. No, seriously, why did Arizona give Bumgarner a fucking 5-year, $85 million deal? Fucking idiot.
I never understand these guys who are, on the back end. I think that's just wishful thinking.
He was like 1-6.
That was a Mets move. It was a Metsian move. We'll get a guy who was good 3 years ago and pay him a ton of money kind of deal. And that's what the Mets are notorious for.
Yeah.
We'll get guys that used to be good.
The Mets love looking good on paper, and then they never perform when the season starts, which is exactly why I wasn't excited this offseason when they got fucking Porcello, Waka, Stroman. Who gives a shit? They all sucked.
They got all guys that were good 3 years ago.
And Stroman opted out. He's bye-bye New York. I'm a fucking loser. I can't perform here, so I'm gonna leave after bitching and moaning about my trade. I know he's not on this list, but fuck you, Stroman. You're a piece of shit.
All right. Another one of my guys next, Travis d'Arnaud.
He's my favorite.
I love this guy. I love this guy. They counted him out, man. They keep counting him out, and he keeps going to new cities, and he's like, what? I'm one of the best catchers in the league.
It's so
keep talking shit.
It's so entertaining because he was supposed to be one of the big pieces in the Syndergaard trade, right?
Yeah. It was. I think it was both of them. Yeah,
I think we got him and Syndergaard, and Syndergaard turned out to be the better one. And as soon as they get rid of d'Arnaud or whatever, he starts fucking raking home runs. He did it in Tampa Bay, saved his career, and now he's doing it in Atlanta. And it's just like, you know what? You're awesome. I love any player who leaves the Mets and is a superstar. It's fantastic. Daniel Murphy did it.
Justin Turner, Daniel Murphy, everyone that was good as a Met that we didn't re-sign does great somewhere else.
Did you know Mike Lowell was a Yankee for some time? Then we got rid of him and he became a superstar.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. Oh, you had him before Boston or after Boston?
Before the Marlins, I think.
Oh, the Marlins.
I believe we drafted Mike Lowell.
Because he was Marlins and then Boston, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Right, because wasn't he traded to Boston with Dontrelle Willis, maybe?
Could have been. It was that time, yeah.
Or was that Detroit first? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Next. Ronald Acuna Jr.
Oh, he's a superstar. I like him and Soto. I think are the outfielders of the future. Infielders of the future are probably Tatis and I don't know. Hopefully Torres.
All right,
dreadful this year.
Now we are in the 7th inning, so we're going to pull out the coaches. They're going to make some moves. Aaron Boone, even though you already kind of told us how you feel.
No, I can't stand Boone. I haven't liked Boone since he fucking hurt his stupid ACL playing pickup basketball, and we had to trade Soriano, my favorite player, for the fucking A-Rod cheater fuck. I don't like that shit. Like, it drives me nuts. I've always been an old school minded baseball guy, and I just don't like cheating in any forms. And if you're going to say steroids are cheating, then it's cheating to me, even though it helped the league. So it's like the league is just such a fucking joke. They can't decide what they want to be because they're so concerned with making so much money.
Yeah, I agree.
It's exhausting, and I think they're going to keep Boone because the Yankees don't like to continue searching for coaches. They like having coaches for 10 plus years, and then they move on if they think it's stale. But what happens when the coach is stale at the beginning of his contract? He was a joke his first fucking year. Then he did his Savages rant, and everyone thought it was hilarious. So now he's suddenly a good fucking coach. And then this year he does all the baboon shit that he does.
Yeah.
So I've never hated than liked than hated someone this much. I feel like it's an episode of Big Bang Theory. Like, I hate that show, then I like it because I get one laugh out of it, and then I realize it's dumb as shit.
Kevin
Hate that
Cash.
guy. Kevin Cat. Oh God, he's one of the smartest coaches in most sports. I think he's brilliant,
Wow.
but I hate that he's on Tampa Bay. It drives me nuts, and he makes so much of it. So if you put him on a team who had a ginormous budget, he would be unbelievable. Imagine him as the Dodgers coach. He'd be better than Roberts.
Yeah.
He would find so much out of that bullpen, and I guarantee he'd probably make that Gastro guy that LA got, probably make him a superstar.
Wow. Wow. Kevin Cash got some good criticism from you,
I
man.
don't like him, but I'm not going to sit up here and
I
lie
don't think
and
you
say
like
he's
anybody.
good.
I'm not telling hey, we know you don't like anyone.
No,
Don't.
this whole list, I hate all of them. They're all pieces of shit. Most human beings are pieces of shit. We have 8 million people on this earth, and most of you annoy me.
That is why I love this segment. We're in the 9th inning now. Brian Snitker.
That's the Braves coach.
Yeah. I guess you don't care about it. All right. Well, we finished up strong. we do. We're in for 9. That's pretty good.
I mean, he's irrelevant. I don't know anything about him. He's just okay.
Yeah. I know you're an AL guy, so that's probably a tough one for you.
Yeah, I mean, how long has he been the coach? Like 5 years, maybe? Maybe a little less.
Let me do a.
Because I should know more about him, but I don't know. I just think that team is talented. I have a hard time.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years, something like that.
Yeah, I haven't really watched any NL baseball this year, mostly because I was so invested in the Yankees. Now I am, so now I'm learning how the Braves work a little bit more than I used to. But yeah, National League Baseball has always just been boring to me. And the only team that I've ever cared about in the National League is the Colorado Rockies. And yeah, because I used to go to Denver a lot.
Oh, okay. So, all right.
So but I won't root for them. I'm that's being a fake fan again. I can't stand people who baseball's everything to me. And then the Yankees, but I can't root for another team. I can still watch baseball and be like, okay, yay, baseball. But I don't want any of these 4 teams to win because they're not the Yankees. They can all go fuck themselves. I don't like them.
Yeah.
Seriously, the Yankees should be in there this year, and this was the year that we should have won. And we've waited 11 years since the last championship, and we even made the World Series? God fucking damn it.
You know who did make the World Series?
Yeah, and lost badly to fucking Kansas City, the irrelevant Mets.
2015.
No, and there's stupid Mets fans all over Twitter mocking how the Yankees lost.
No,
Why don't you mock the fact that you guys lost in August?
Yeah, I can't mock anything this year. This team was a disaster this year. We were hurting from the beginning. We had one good day, opening day.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's our best day of the year.
This was the most forgettable Mets season in the last 50 years, and
there's been a lot of them.
I mean, I really can't stand players who just give up because things suck. So Cespedes and Stroman are the biggest fucking bitches in the world to me. They are so fake. Stroman wants to talk how I'm a huge competitor. I'm gonna come here with my swag and I'm gonna win. I'm gonna do this. And the second the Mets season is done, I'm opting out for health reasons. No, you're opting out because you're a little bitch and you knew you were gonna suck. That's why you're opting out. So now you're gonna, instead of having bad stats, you're going to hope a team picks you up on a decent contract. My guess is you get a 1-year deal.
It's going to be a smaller deal. I don't really know what the hell happened this year with some of these people, man. I think that they hadn't. Some people may have actually been doing it for their families, and then other people saw an out and just took it. And unfortunately, there's no way of telling who's in which group.
I mean, that's pretty much it. We're going to be back on Thursday with CJ. So I assume we'll have a lot more to talk about that. Hopefully by then, Tampa Bay is in the World Series.
I hope so. I'm hoping Tampa, Atlanta.
Yes, that's what I want. Exactly. Tampa and Atlanta. I want something.
If for some reason it's the Astros, I want LA to beat the Astros. But they don't look good right now. They got a lot of work to do to come back.
I cannot fathom the Astros in the World Series. That will just piss me the fuck off, because then they will have all the excuses in the world to say, we told you so. We were amazing this year. You weren't amazing. You were trash this year. And you got lucky because the teams that you played in the postseason were fucking jokes. The Minnesota Twins, are you kidding me? They've lost 18 playoffs in a row. They haven't won a game in 18 games. That's a fucking joke. You know how long back that dates?
Yeah.
It dates. I'm pretty sure it dates back before the Nationals were even an AL team.
Wow.
Which was like 2012. So I think this is like the last 10 years or something of Minnesota sucking balls in the playoffs. I mean, we destroyed them last year, and they broke every record offensively. The Twins did.
Yeah.
And there were 100
Well,
wins.
didn't who had the home run record? Didn't you guys get it at the end?
No, they did. They did it with 307, and we were right behind with like 301, 302, something.
Oh, wow.
We broke it the year before, then we broke it in the same year, and then they passed us at the end of the year, something like that.
Yeah. What do you think about last thing before you close out, but what do you think about juiced ball this year? Did it show that, do you think something was done, or was the ball the same? Because you didn't really hear that this year, and I wonder if people were just so happy to just see baseball that they didn't want to complain about the ball this year.
I think that's what it is, because I was told to move on from my hatred towards Houston. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? We haven't even had time to be angry about this, because the second we found out about it, baseball was shut down. Then they gave us a bullshit 60-game season, and now we still have to watch Houston playing baseball in deep October. I do not want to watch them right now. They shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. Like I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but like it's a joke what Manshits has done to this game. How can you get new fans if the fans looking in go, oh, this is a sport of no accountability where you can cheat and get away with it? Now, like, seriously, these people they're not paid to be role models, but you are role models. The whole reason this game is special is because these people who are playing it right now started in the same way that I did as a child. They fell in love with the game, they worked really hard, and they made it to an elite level. And now they're going to cheat, which basically tells all the other children, oh, doesn't matter if you fucking just work hard. If you cheat, you're going to get that extra edge and you might win. And then you'll get $1 million for it. They got money for this shit. And they ruined the lives of other people who needed money. They ruined the lives of people who were trying to get contracts. They ruined Yu Darvish's career for a minute. They messed up with Judge winning awards. It was bullshit. And they had no accountability. They didn't even apologize to the children of Houston, who they let down.
That's true.
Because I'm telling you, if the Yankees did this, if the Aaron Judge cheated and they had concrete proof that he did so, I would be furious. And I would be on this show talking in the same way that I am towards the Houston Astros.
I'd be heartbroken if I found out the Mets cheated.
Heartbroken.
Man.
You'd be devastated,
man. I wouldn't be able to spend a dime on them. I wouldn't stick up for them. Let's put it that way. Like, I'd want to see new ownership, new players that were involved, new coaches if they were involved. I'd want to see. I would not go to games and watch them again until they revamped everything, and I would not accept the cheaters. I couldn't do it because I wouldn't want it done to me. So I wouldn't push that shit onto somebody else. That really bothers me, the people that stick up for them.
Right. And Carrera comes out and he's calling us haters. Of course we hate you. You fucking cheated, lied about it, and now you're blaming the victims. Like, Jesus Christ. Not only would I be devastated if the Yankees did it, I would be pissed for George Steinbrenner, because he built something very special here. And I believe he went to jail like a couple times for fucking fraud and other shit. Like, this was not a great man. He broke the law and did other things that he shouldn't do, but he didn't do it with his baseball team. He did not ever jeopardize his baseball team or the integrity of it. He was built on prestige and he was built on ethics, which is why we have all these policies that separate the Yankees from every other team. So if we did it, we would be obliterated, and we should be. This is 27 Down, perfect podcast for the perfect game. What else do you have to say, Joe?
I was going to say, we're going to call this one The Integrity of the Game.
Okay, that's a good title. We will see you guys on Thursday. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.